my bonnet on. So I am going to be starting a new vlog. Yes, and I'm starting a new vlog in my bonnet because I don't care. So I decided I'm going to be doing a reading vlog of reading the Pretty Little Liars for the first time. I wasn't obsessed with Pretty Little Liars, but I liked Pretty Little Liars growing up. In high school I watched Pretty Little Liars. High school I watched Teen Wolf, The Vampire Diaries, Pretty Little Liars, Gossip Girl, and 90210. Those were like, oh, and Glee. Those were like my shows. Like my week was booked and busy. I had other shows that I like The Fosters, like, you know, but I'm saying like I was tuned the fuck into all of those shows. Well, not Gossip Girl. I got on the Gossip Girl and the 90210 stage late, but I became intensely obsessed with those. But like The Vampire Diaries, Teen Wolf, and Pretty Little Liars I would watch like weekly, except the Pretty Little Liars I would watch a lot less. Teen Wolf I stayed up on. Like I watched every single week up until the season finale for 6 seasons straight. The Vampire Diaries, I didn't start watching The Vampire Diaries until like I want to say 3 seasons. That's when I actually got into it. Glee I started watching Glee around like season 3 as well. And then with Pretty Little Liars, I watched season 1 of Pretty Little Liars, a little bit of season 2, and then I would watch like seasons 3 and 4. So I was like very like on and off Pretty Little Liars, but I did like it. I never read the books because when I was in middle school, because that's when it started coming out, when I was in middle school, one of my friends had spoiled the ending for me, so I never really wanted to give it a try. But I know Gavin does this series where he reads like these YA, like where he reads like these books, and I kind of like, I liked all of these things growing up. So if you want to see more, let me know, because I do want to read The Vampire Diaries. I had a vlog to read The Princess Diaries. I want to read The Lion Game because I watched that TV show in high school as well up until it got canceled. So I want to read like all these books, but I kind of don't want to feel like I'm copying anyone, but also like it's fun. Like I love reading and I want to read these books. And so my cat has this on me. So me and my friend Jemiah, I talk about her in all of my videos now, I'll leave her link down below. We have been rewatching Pretty Little Liars together. We decided to just we get on Teleparty and we watch a few episodes every night. We are on season 2 so far, and we're trying to see how far we can get it by the end of the month, and then we're gonna like watch something else. But I decided, like, at first I was telling her last night, I was like, I kind of don't want to read it because Toby's my favorite character. I love Toby. I love Spencer. Spencer's actually my favorite character. I relate to her a lot. I love Toby. I love Toby and Spencer. And I know in the books he's a creep. But one of my mutuals on Twitter made a tweet, and she was like, Hannah was so funny in Pretty Little Liars. Basically, they had framed her for doing something. One of the girls someone offed themselves, and someone fled to Europe, making Hannah and Spencer look super suspicious. And I was like, that sounds so much fun. Like, it sounds just as fun as the show, but like a little bit more crazier. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read it. So I looked on my library and it was free, so I decided I'm gonna read it, and I'm so excited to be reading it. I think this vlog is just going to be the first 4 books, and if people care and this does good, then I'll do the other ones. And then, like I said, if you want to see The Vampire Diaries, The Princess Diaries, Gossip Girl, The Lion Game, like all of those books, let me know, because I wanted to do The Princess Diaries because in the first movie, Michael's my favorite, like, that she dates. I love the second movie, but I just prefer Michael. And I know that Michael and her would have been in game if the guy who played Michael didn't go on tour with his band. And so I know her and Michael are in game in the book, so I want to read it. Also, her dad is alive in the book, so I just like seeing how different the books are from like my favorite childhood things, right? So if you want to see more, I probably will do more anyway. To be honest, if this is fun, I'll do more. I'm just really bad at like reading series, but also these books are under 300 pages. Like I could probably read all 4 of these books in one day. I won't, but I probably could. And also this would be fun to do as I like read my bigger books, because I literally was just thinking like I want to take time reading my bigger books, but I also need to finish a book a day or I feel incomplete. So I'm probably gonna have, like, if I actually really stick to this series and I really do more throughout the month, I'm probably gonna have a lot of books read by like the end of September, which I low-key need to do this because I need more books read, because I'm trying to read 300 books in a year just so I can get to it. And so these books are like really short and quick. So far I'm only 3 pages in and I'm liking it so far. They talked about how Spencer has blonde hair. Like, excuse me. Allison isn't that much of a bitch yet. But she's like a popular girl. And I'm just so excited. I'm actually really, really excited. It's so crazy because at first I didn't care for it, but like now I'm excited. So, I'm gonna read a little bit. I gotta like wash the dishes and all that stuff. So I'm gonna do all of that and then I'm going to get back to you. I gotta keep this quick because I'm making tomato soup. I'm making a grilled cheese in the air fryer, which grilled cheese in the air fryer is so good. I wish I knew how to make tomato soup and I also had tomatoes to make tomato soup because I just feel like that would just, oh, it was just a hit. Anyways, okay, so I have a lot to talk about. So as I said, I am currently rewatching Pretty Little Liars, and watching it as an adult, it's like I love, my favorite thing to do right now is watch my favorite childhood shows as an adult, because when you are a teen, you're just like watching and you're like, oh my gosh, like as a teen, like I knew that Ezra and Ari's relationship was wrong and I never shipped them, and like I knew a lot of things were wrong, but like as an adult I'm realizing that all of the female characters, or majority of the female characters, have all dated adults. They were all literally minors, not even like 18, like they were literally 16, 17, dating full-blown adults. Like these people, the adults were like 24. They're like my age, a year younger than me. I would never be caught in the same room as someone who's 16, let alone be in a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just weird. So like watching this as an adult, I'm like, oh, it's actually kind of, I get disgusted a lot with rewatching it, but the plotline is so good. So anyways, I have a lot to talk about with what's going on. These kids are bad as hell. Okay, in 7th grade, y'all talking about y'all skinny dipping. Oh my gosh, at first I thought they were only going to be in like 7th, 8th grade, but actually skipped to like 3 years later in their 11th grade. One thing I do like about the fact that this story is that even though it's YA and it's in high school, they like cuss, and like Maya was smoking weed, which, side note, I can't figure out if Maya is black or not because she was kind of described, but like not really. But like, I guess it's gonna sound weird that I say I like these things, but teenagers do those things. Like, let's not lie, let's not hide from it. They do those things. Not saying it's okay or I support it, but it just seems more realistic. I feel like a lot of the time in YA books, they try to make these like cookie cutter good girl characters, and to a certain extent it just doesn't feel like realistic. The characters in the Pretty Little Liars series are bad as fuck. They're bad as hell. They need whoopits. They need whoopits. Okay, one thing I like is how the characters are also described. Like Aria, I'm starting to understand Aria a lot more, like describing like her style and how she struggled to find herself, and she finally found herself when she went to Iceland. I love how like the characters are written. One thing as an adult I noticed about Pretty Little Liars is like how they never feel like a friend group, but that's on purpose because that's how Allison wanted them to be. Allison had like secrets with each of them, and like even though they were a friend group, it was like they were like literally Allison's friends, but they weren't friends with each other. Like they obviously were friends with each other because they hung out a lot, but they weren't best friends with each other. They all were best friends with Allison, and I think she did that on purpose. And one thing I theorized is, in case, I don't think she thought anything was gonna happen to her. TV show Allison, bitch, I know her ass knew something was gonna happen to her because her ass was evil. I don't really know about book Allison so far, but I feel like they, like, Allison just thought, like, just in case, like, say she like fell out with one of them, like say like her and Aria got into an argument, the other girls wouldn't go and talk to Aria because they had no reason to really be friends with her. And I think Allison was really smart about that, and they kept it the same. I kind of wish that like in the TV show they kept Allison, or kept the girls at like 7th grade, it all happened, and then 3 years later, because a lot of the times the flashbacks confuse me, because like the show started off with a flashback from everything that happened on Labor Day. I remember because I started reading it for Labor Day weekend, like to get the vibes going, right? I mean, I started rewatching it for the Labor Day weekend to get the vibes going, right? So everything happens in Labor Day. Season 2, there's a flashback to October, so that had to be a year before, because Labor Day happens before October, and that's when, so it had to happen a whole year, and that's just crazy to me. Like, I don't know, it wasn't really confusing, but it was confusing because I don't even know how to explain that. But also I like that they describe how all the girls became friends, because in the show they don't, but it makes sense that they all just happened to be at the same place when they became friends. I really like how Spencer's written, like she kind of tests Allison a lot, and like Allison just really gets on her nerves, and like they have like this rocky relationship where it's like she doesn't like to compete with Allison, but she has no choice but to because of Allison's personality. I can't figure out if Emily's gay or not. That's also confusing me, but I think that's the point. So far I've read from Emily's POV and Aria's POV, so I have next Hannah and Spencer, which Hannah and Spencer are my favorite characters, but I think I might really like Emily. In the book, I feel like in the show Emily doesn't have a lot of personality besides being a lesbian and being on a swim team. Like, they don't really give her a lot of like personality. Like, she just seems so like mopey and like depressed, which is like understandable, but I feel like they gave all the other girls so much and then they just gave Emily like to be a lesbian, and I don't like how that was written, because I feel like I can see in the, like, I don't know, I kind of like, anyways, whatever. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Oh my gosh, I had to flip my fucking, okay, bye. So I am 60% into the book. I kind of forgot to update because I'm also doing a vlog for my TikTok, and so I've just been focusing on my TikTok because it's a lot easier. But okay, there's a point that I made in my TikTok that I want to make sure I make here. Okay, so when I was watching the show with Jemiah, I kept pointing out how it just feels like Emily should have siblings. Like, something about the show just feels off. Mind you, I've never read the books. I don't know anything about the books. Reading the books, come to find out Emily has siblings. I also pointed out how it's very interesting how the girls either have an older sibling, like, okay, so Arya and Spencer both have a sibling, and I think it's interesting that one has an older sibling, one has a younger sibling. I hate in TV shows when they kind of don't give characters siblings, because it's like, how often do you come across so many people that don't have like a variety number of siblings, you know? And I guess it's because like I have 6 siblings. I know people who have like 2 siblings. Like, you know, having 3 kids is the normal to me. Like, that's usually what I see when I come across other people. So it's so interesting. Like, I just feel like that could have been better. It makes sense that Hannah doesn't have any siblings though, like, and she has a stepsister. That makes sense. I think they should have gave Spencer a older sister and a younger sister and do like the all girls dynamic. And then I think Arya being the oldest sibling does not make sense. I think they should have gave her an older brother and a younger brother, because the way that Arya acts, she does not act like an eldest sibling. She does not give a fuck about her brother at all. So yeah, that's just, I just want to point that out. But so far, I mean, I was having a lot of fun in the beginning. Like, I was having a time of my life in the beginning. I decided I'm not going to rate these books because I just don't think that'll be fair, because y'all know I'm a harsh reviewer and these books are literally meant for teenagers and I'm not a teen. So I wasn't going to rate, I'm not going to rate these books depending on how it, I don't know. I'm just saying this now, but depending on how it ends, I could rate it, or I can give myself like a mental rating but not actually rate it on Goodreads. So I was having so much fun. I did just get towards the middle, and so A is like, you know, texting them, leaving them. I like how creative A is, like texting them, leaving them notes and stuff like that. It kind of is giving season 2, like A would just do random stuff, like change the, oh my gosh, we were watching this episode last night. It was so good. Emily was like eating cereal and she pours the cereal out, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like waiting for Emily to notice, because the cereals all had A's in it and then there was a note in it, and I just thought that was like fucking insane and so fun and so good. And so it's not really giving that, but kind of at the same time, like, it's not just here's a text message, like it's like letters, emails. I'm like, okay, they're getting creative, and I really think that's a lot of fun. I think I'm just bored because I just ended up on an Arya's chapter, and I find Arya's character a little bit, or her chapters a little bit boring. I do find her character much more interesting. If we were to rank the girls, it would go Spencer's my favorite, then Hannah, then Emily, then like 25 people, then Arya. I also do believe the conspiracy theory that Arya should have been A. I fully do believe in that. I've watched many debunking videos, and I will continue to. I do believe that Arya should have been A. Wholeheartedly. Yeah, so I'm just a little bored after the chapter that I read. And like, also, they're not like, A is texting them separately, so they're dealing with this separately, so they haven't came together yet. So I think that'll happen. Like, I'm at the 60% mark, so I do think that'll happen in the next 60%, that like they'll come together and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I've been getting these texts. I'm just ready for them to come together because it happens so much faster in the show, and I like that they did that. But I'm gonna need it to happen in the book because your girl is, I am getting bored. But not bored in the sense that like I don't want to read it anymore, or in the sense that like it could hinder my rating or anything like that. I'm just like, I know there's fun and I want to get to the fun. Y'all, look at this apple cobbler that I made. It's a 1-person serving that I found on TikTok, and it's literally so good. It's meant to like be eaten like with ice cream, but I didn't have any, so I think I might get some ice cream tomorrow and make some more, because I also didn't crumble the top correctly. But that's why I like to bake. That's my favorite thing about baking, is you learn as you go, and you learn what does what and how ingredients work together. And it literally is so fun. And I listened to my audiobook while I read it, and I just had a time of my life. So yeah, I thought that I think all in all I would give the series 4 stars. I'm not gonna rate it though, because it's just, I just don't feel right rating this. And it's so crazy because it's like, it doesn't really matter. I just don't feel right rating it. I don't know, because it's like, I'm used to, I don't know even know how to explain it, because I was genuinely reading this just for like experiment, and like I don't really like rating books. I don't know. I just don't feel right. Okay, I just don't feel right, so I'm not gonna rate it, right? But I had a time, and I would give it 4 stars. It was so much fun. The ending was so good when A reveals herself to all of them, because it kind of been like, they kind of been like scared to talk about A with each other because they have this secret. So then when they all get the text at the end, A is like, I'm still alive, bitches. It was so good. It was so good. So yes, I will be reading book 2 now. I got it on my library, so I'm gonna try to read. I'm gonna have like such a fall cozy day, because I'm gonna be eating my apple cobbler, and I'm gonna watch the Gilmore Girls. I'm gonna read my book, and it's just gonna be so cozy and so good. I'm excited. Oh, I am back in my bonnet again. So sorry. I will be doing my hair today. I'm doing a wig look. Because I miss wearing wigs, you know. I got my coffee, so let's get into this discussion. Started reading Pretty Little Liars Flawless last night. I got 80% through it. I'm basically done. I have 2 hours left. I'm listening to this shit on 3 times speed, and I don't listen to books on 3 times speed anymore. I really don't, because I do be struggling. But this book is so easy to understand on 3 times speed, especially because I've been reading a lot more fantasy recently. So honestly, with the fantasy that I'm reading, I'm listening to it on 1.8 speed. So I started reading this book, and I was like, damn, this shit sounds slow. Put it on 2 times speed. I'm like, they ain't doing it for me. Put it on 2.5. I was like, they ain't doing it. Put it on 3. 3 is still not doing it for me, but I'm just gonna deal, right? So I put it on 3 times speed. I sped through that shit last night, okay? And I wasn't getting out of bed because I finally had got off TikTok for the night. Once I like settled in for the night, like that's it. Like, I'm sorry. But also, I'm filming a vlog for my TikTok. So for my TikTok, I'm filming them individually, book by book, instead of one big vlog, because I just can't, you can't do that on TikTok, right? So with this vlog, I don't feel as bad not getting up and updating, because on that one, it's like, I kind of have to, because it's only one video, whereas this is one big video. And also, not updating a lot on one big video is going to save me a lot of time. But from one of my previous videos, I found that you guys like long videos. So yeah, so anyway, so I started reading the second book. I got 80% through it. There's not a lot going on. It's just like it's like just finding out about their personal lives, but being as I've watched the show, it's literally giving like the first few episodes. Basically, it's giving like the first 2 episodes, honestly. So we got Arya, who's sleeping with her teacher. You got Hannah, who is dealing with, Hannah's a little bit different, because Hannah's dealing with her dad being married, because in the book her dad is already married, and like dealing with like Kate being her stepsister and that being in her life. And then you have the 2 people who I think are suffering the worst in this book. So then you have Emily, who is questioning her sexuality. She's figuring out that she likes girls. She's being with Maya. Maya is written as black in this book, by the way. So she's dealing with Maya. She's dealing with the fact that Maya is black and her parents are racist, and not only like is that, but she's also likes girls, like both of them. And then there's and it's just like her boyfriend is trying to like blackmail her. He wants to sleep with her, and she doesn't really want to sleep with him. Like, he's trying to blackmail her. Then you got Spencer, who is sleeping with, or I don't know, she's doing something with Ren, I can't remember. And her parents are ignoring her. I think she's going through it a lot, because you see how much her parents don't give a fuck about her, how much they love Melissa a lot more, they pay a lot more attention to her, they ignore her when she's in the room. Like, damn, what beef do they got with Spencer? Like, Why give her ass up for adoption if you're gonna be treating her like this? Like they was going in on Spencer. Like they just treat her so terribly. And I can see why Spencer turns to dating Melissa's boyfriends, because if your parents aren't giving you attention and they always give attention to Melissa, and you just think that Melissa's so great and so amazing and so sweet and she's just a princess angel that ever graced this earth, and then you have these you have these men who are not only adults and see as adult figures in society, but they're dating Melissa and they're attracted to you. Mentally, that means that you're better than Melissa. Now, this is a teenage girl, so I'm not gonna go like, you know, there's obviously some flaws in there, but she's a teenage girl, so it's like I can see why she thinks that. And it's like, you know, you see adults and it's like you're like, yeah, this grown man, ugh. I was never like that when I was a teen, but I can understand because I had friends who were like that, and I would be like, girl, I don't know. I used to watch Pretty Little Liars, so I used to be like, girl, you're gonna get yourself into some shit, you know? All these teen shows, they just had these grown-ass men with these teenagers, and it's like, I'm so glad watching, like, normal teen dramas now, and they don't really do that as much, like, Cruel Summer. I don't know why I lied and said Cruel Summer, like, she literally doesn't date her teacher in the show, but I do like how in the show they acknowledge that it's wrong for a grown man to be dating a minor, whereas in the TV show for Pretty Little Liars it was definitely glamorized. I just don't know why I said Cruel Summer, and then I'm just looking back on it like, girl, what were you talking about? High School Musical, the music, but that's more of like a Disney Channel show, so it's like, of course they're not about to be doing all of that. But Pretty Little Liars, Teen Wolf, The Vampire Diaries, Gossip Girl, 90210, them shows used to stress me out, okay? Glee, oh, used to stress me out. Used to stress me out. So I can kind of see, like, I feel for Spencer a lot. Spencer's also my favorite liar in the show, and I keep picturing the girls as how they are in the show, and then when they say like they're a head color, I just completely disregard it. Like I don't care. But this book, yeah. So I'm about 80% left, so I'm just gonna finish that up. Oh, and then all the girls are dealing with A stalking them, so they got their own personal shit, and then they got A. It's like, damn, you can't get your break. If I had to go through this in high school, because I had like some personal stuff in high school, and then you had to tell me that somebody is secretly stalking me, making my life live in hell. I don't keep secrets because of shows like Pretty Little Liars, so I don't have secrets because, bitch, you're not about to expose me, right? So then you got all these secrets that you have, and you going through shit at home, girl. I'm not even gonna say what I would do. Y'all can catch the hint. So that's where we are. I'm gonna finish listening to the audiobook. I want all the books now. They're all on thrift books, and I kind of want to buy them. I want the hardcovers, of course. It's so crazy because I didn't have any interest in buying any of these books, and now that I'm starting this series, I want to buy all of these series, and I have like a bookshelf idea for them and everything. Like I want like a bookshelf of like YA early 2000s, like books that have been turned into TV shows. So I want the vampire. I also want to do Avalon High, but I don't know because I love that but I love that movie and I really want to read the book, but I'm scared it's gonna be slightly different. But I want like the Vampire Diaries, Pretty Liars. I don't think Gossip Girl comes in hardcover, and then I want the Princess Diaries, which also doesn't come in hardcover. I have a whole list of like all the books I'm gonna do, so I'm ready. And I think I want to call this series As Seen on TV, but I don't know if that's like, I don't know if that like makes sense. In my mind, it's like these were shows on TV and I've never watched them before. I mean, I've only watched them, but it's like they were books first, but I seen them on TV first. So it's like As Seen. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, right? Let me get back to this book. Yeah, I was just about to pick up my coffee. There's a fucking gnat in here. I hate when this happens to me. This happens very often. That's why I drink my coffee so fast. But it's okay because the coffee had me on the toilet and I need to eat breakfast. It's 2 p.m. and I need to eat breakfast. So anyways, I updated my TikTok vlog, but I forgot to update this one. I finished Perfect and I finished Flawless and now I'm reading Perfect. So Yeah, I thought the ending of Flawless was really good. Like I was saying, like the first 80% was like very boring, and it was like hard for me. It wasn't hard, but it was like very boring. It was like still stuff going on, but I was like, I want to get to the T. Girl, we hit 80% and I get to the T. Melissa and Spencer scene gagged me. Like Melissa basically set Spencer up. I already knew about the Toby stuff, but I will say I do think it's a bit weird that in the show they changed it from Jenna being the one that hurt Spencer to, I mean, Jenna being the one that hurt Toby to Toby being the one that hurt from, so they changed it to Jenna being the one that hurt Toby instead of Toby being the one that hurt Jenna. I don't want to exactly say what it is. Not because of spoilers, but you know, because I assume that if you're watching this video, you've already read the fucking books or you don't care about spoilers, right? Because I'm not about to spend like this whole video not giving no damn spoilers. But Toby dies. They think Toby's A, but then they get a text from A at the end, and they're like, "What the fuck? We thought Toby was A." So here's the thing. Oh, so yeah, so I thought the ending was like very fun, very good. Usually, typically, any other book, like if I was bored, well, not bored, but if I was like just like sitting pretty for 80% and then I get to the 80% and it gets good, I would usually lower my rating. One, I'm not reading the book, and two, I'm having the time of my life. Like, this is so much fun. So I don't mind. So yeah, I started, what is this book called? Perfect. I am 22 minutes into the audiobook, so I'm about 5% into the book. I am gonna be doing my makeup and I'm gonna be filming, and then after I film, me and Jemiah are gonna be watching Pretty Little Liars, so I'll probably read the physical book. So I probably won't read it as fast as I like typically would. But that's okay. So yeah, I just wanted to, because I forgot to update, and now I need to go take this headband off because it's making my ears itch. So. And I need food because I was using coffee to replace the fact that I didn't feel like making any breakfast. And it's not even like we don't have breakfast. We have nothing but choices. I just was lazy. I am about to get in the shower, but I've been reading Pretty Little Liars. As we can tell, I am 65% into this book. Honestly, I am so glad that I made this vlog 4 books because I cannot push it to 8. Like, I'm starting to be bored out of my fucking mind. I'm starting to notice that these books are like boring in the first 80%, and then that last 30%, I don't know, 20% is like where all this stuff happens, and it's like nothing's happening for like the first 80, 70, 80%. I'm like bored. It's like building up to stuff, like, and it's like nothing's happening. It's like Arya and Ezra, Emily questioning her sexuality, Spencer going to therapy, and then Hannah and Mona. And it's like, I'm bored out of my mind, but I know that the ending is gonna gag me. I'm also wondering, are they gonna find out who A is in the 4th book, or do I have to keep reading? Like, do I have to read the second half too? I mean, I'm gonna be reading the second half, but I'm just saying, like, am I gonna find out in that vlog, or am I gonna find out in this vlog? I already know who it is because I was spoiled back in middle school, but I'm just very curious because I'm bored. And that's why I can't read series. And then it's like, last night I was on the phone with Jemiah. We were watching Pretty Little Liars, and we were like, we decided we want to read the Goosebumps books, and now I want to do that vlog. I decided though, when I do the Goosebumps vlogs, I'm just gonna read my favorite Goosebumps episodes, like the books in my favorite episodes, because I love those episodes now. And like I said, I was watching Pretty Little Liars last night, and it was so fun. Season two was really fun. We got through basically all of season 2 when we started season 3. Like I said, season 2 was so much fun. That's when you figure out like who A is and the lead up to that, and it was just like everything that was going on was just so fun. I do think like it was just like the find out who A is was so kind of like anticlimactic, but I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's like, I mean, I've already seen these episodes, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't as good as I remember when I was a kid. Like, I was like, oh, that's it. And then you find out who is. And it's like, one thing I was talking to Jemiah about with the show is that with Pretty Little Liars, I think that their downfall was trying to outsmart the fandom, because their fandom was really smart. And so they would have things that they were like trying to like use Easter eggs or foreshadow, but they wouldn't like go anywhere with them because the fandom was figuring everything out. Like last night we watched episode 5. It was such a good episode. Basically Mona was in Radley, which is their she was in Radley. And so early in that episode, like it was a flash, Hannah had a flashback to like when Allison first went missing. And I found a plot hole. Jason had short hair when he was introduced, and it's so funny, he had short hair in that scene. Now Jason was played by a different guy, but when this guy who played Jason got introduced, he had long hair when he first, anyway. So yeah, so Jason, so it's like Mona's talking to Hannah, and she's like, oh, like we've been using a lot of anagrams, like, you know, like you take the first letter of every word and it spells out something else. But Hannah wasn't really listening to her because she was focused on something else. So then the flashback is over, they go and visit Mona and Radley, and she kept saying something, I don't remember what she was saying, and then she said, but basically it ended up spelling out, it was random, right? And it ended up spelling out, Maya knew no one is safe. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I was like, what the fuck does Maya know? Because it's like, we end up finding out later that she died, like her stalker killed her. So it was like, what did she know? And it's like, that was such great like build up. Like, I like a show with like decoding and being like, okay, so this means this, and like Easter eggs and stuff like that. Like, I don't think I'm the smartest girl in the world, and like I don't like theorizing, but at the same time I like theorizing, you know. And so it's like they set that up, and then nothing. And I saw on Reddit that they did that because they were originally going to do something with that, but then they didn't really like where that was going, so they stopped it. And I'm like, listen, I don't give a fuck. Like, you just started up something and then you didn't continue it. I just feel like their biggest downfall was trying to outsmart the fandom, because the fandom is super smart. But whatever, I guess. Anyway, so I'm gonna take a shower and then watch some more Gilmore Girls, and I'll probably be back once I'm done. I have never been more gagged in my life, you guys. First of all, my apple crumble that I made, I have ice cream for it this time. Tastes so freaking amazing. So I just got to the part in the book where Ezra and Arya sleep together and the police barge in and arrest him, and then she walks out to see Sean standing there, her boyfriend who she stole from Hannah. And then she finds out that Sean got a text from A about Ezra and Arya. Gagged. I am gagged. Okay. Also in the book, what's going on so far is I don't even remember what's been going on with Emily, to be honest. Just Hannah's getting closer to Lucas, and she's like arguing with Mona, and then Spencer is like dealing with she's just dealing with like going to therapy, and like her parents exposed like this memory of hers that she had forgot, and she's like dealing with like stealing that paper from Melissa. When I tell you, this Arya plotline gagged me bad. Ugh, I was cheering. Ugh, do you know how badly I want Ezra to be arrested in the TV show? Ugh, so happy. Okay, so I just finished I just finished reading the third book in the Pretty Little Liars series. And basically what happened was, after I end up uploading like my last clip, the next chapter was Emily's chapter, and her A ends up exposing Emily, not really outing her or anything, but exposing that she's hanging out with Maya because her parents don't really like Maya, and Emily gets in trouble. And then Hannah, I think, gets a text from A, but it's not from a block caller like it usually is. It's from a number. It's a 601 number specifically. And so I think she ends up realizing, actually I don't know if she ended up, in the book she says that she knows who it is, and I just assumed it was Spencer, but looking back on it, that's not what she was gonna say, because she then ends up getting hit by a car, and then A sends a message being like she knew too much. So I think she does know who A is, but I think as an audience we're supposed to like believe that she thought it was Spencer because that's what the girls thought. And then during that, like, the other girls, Arya ends up thinking it's Spencer because none of the girls know each other's secrets, which I think even in a TV show I don't think they ever learn each other's secrets. I don't know, I can't remember. I don't think they ever learn each other's like secrets. So in the book they don't, but then they end up telling each other, like they end up finding out their secrets, but they don't know Spencer's. So then Arya finds this video of them all, and she notices in the video that Ian and Allison briefly touch hands, and she's like, oh well, didn't Spencer like Ian? So like, oh well, then maybe that's her motive. And so she ends up being convinced that A is Spencer. And then Arya gets hit by the car, blah 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 blah. Spencer's standing there in the end, not there, but like she's standing in the distance in the end. And yeah, I thought this was like really good. It's just like the beginning was like very boring. I'm excited to read the 4th book because that will be the A reveal, which I ended up finding out because I was talking to my friend, and I ended up finding out that that'll be the A reveal. So I am excited for that, and I'm excited for the first arc to be over. I think I'm gonna do this in different arcs instead of just doing one whole long video. Like, I am so sorry, I am not that girl. I will never be that girl. Like, I don't mind a long video, but I can't do, first of all, I talk too much, but I can't do like, you know, one of those like a 2-hour long video. Like, I am so sorry. I don't have the patience for that. So yeah, I'm going to probably take a little break and then get into the book. I don't even think I'm gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my bonnet on, I'm gonna get my dishes out of my room, I'm gonna lay in my bed, and I'm gonna read my audiobook. I'm back again with my bonnet on. I look like I'm straight out of like 1602. Like, I look like witch. Like, she's a witch. Speaking of, I'm about to reread The Crucible because this is actually like one of my favorite classics. But this is one of my favorite classes in high school, so I'm about to read it as an adult, and I'm very excited. Let's get into the tea. I got my big cup of coffee. This is essentially 2 cups of coffee, and I'm loving it. Fall, I'm a huge coffee girl in the fall. Anytime, maybe like fall and winter, anytime after that, it kind of like dwindles down. But fall, I am a huge coffee girl. So, I got my coffee. I've started, what the hell is this called? Unbelievable. I've started Unbelievable. I am an hour into it. And so far, basically with this book, what's happening in this book is Hannah got hit by the car in the last book. She was put into a coma. The girls think that Spencer is A, but we as an audience know that Spencer is not A. And I just think that's so crazy because like, they're like, oh my gosh, like she's A, like she's trying to kill us. And Spencer's like, dang, like, she's like thinking like, could I have killed Allison? Like, cause you know she done some stuff. She's like, could I have done it? She's like, nah, like I couldn't have. Like, I may have done some messed up stuff to Allison and my sister, but like what A did to Hannah is crazy. Like, I couldn't be a killer like that. And then all the girls are like, bitch, you are the killer. And so that's what's been happening so far, and I'm already having fun. Like, compared to like the last book, I don't know what it was when I started the last book. Like, I did not care at this point. Like, 8% in, I did not care. But for some reason with this book, I think it's also because I know this is my last book. This is when the vlog ends, and then I can go back to reading, you know, some other stuff, get my TBR down, because I'm currently reading 4 books right now, and then I want to start The Crucible. So it's like I'm currently reading a lot, and I want to get that shit down to my normal 0 or like 1 currently reading, because I only like to read 1 book at a time. I try every few months to be a multiple book girly, and that is just not me. I cannot do it. So I need to get this shit down, and that's what I'm going to be focused on for like the next 3-4 days, getting it down. And then also my Libby, I got some books coming in on my Libby that I need to read. Well, I have some books on my Libby that I need to read. Like 3 Libby holds came in last night, and I don't like having over 10 holds, so I had to go and remove some. I don't know, I'm very weird. I don't understand myself a lot of the times. I have to go and remove some because I just felt like I felt weird having like more than 10, and it feels like selfish and like keeping people waiting. I don't know. So there's that. I'm gonna get back to Unbelievable so I can finish this book. And I was gonna film today, but I was like, nah, I need today to be a chill reading. Like, I'll film tomorrow or Tuesday, because I don't even have anything I want to film. I just want to put on this cute outfit idea that I have, but I'm like, nah, I can do that like tomorrow or Tuesday. I need today to be a reading day. Today ends. I need the next few days to be a reading day, to be honest. But I'm also running out of videos. But also with TikTok, like I can just take some like pictures and like make a video out of that. That's what I like about it. It's like you don't always have to have like of like get up and, you know, film and stuff like that. So I might do a couple of videos like that. I like to have like some drafts, and then I also need to edit, because if this is gonna go up, I think this needs to go up tomorrow. Yeah, so I also need to edit today and get started on my other vlogs that I'm also working on for like November. I feel like, I don't know how Kayla does it. Like she will be planning ahead for months. Like I'm pretty sure she probably has up until like February 2024 planned out, maybe even further, I don't know. But she like plans out so far, and then like she'll like start filming a video. Like she could be filming a video for December right now, and we would not know. And it's like, I cannot do that, because I'd be so excited for my videos to come out. I'd be so excited for people to see what I'm working on, and I just want to upload it. But genuinely, I have so much planned out in October that I don't want to overpile too much, so I'm gonna chill out. And so I have about 2 hours left, which is like an hour and 30 minutes maybe. But okay, so I really wasn't gonna update till I got to the end, but then I got to this part where Arya's talking to, what's his name, Mike, her brother, and she's like, yeah, like because he was mad at her about their parents, and she was like, you know what, like I didn't say anything, like I have a like I have someone who knows things about me and my friends, and they just know secrets that like nobody else should know, and I've just been going through a lot. He's like, okay, so you have a stalker? And she's like, yeah. He's like, they're like standing right by the police. He's like, we should go to the police about it. She's like, no, it's not that simple. And it's so crazy, because reading this, I never was like, why don't you guys just go to the police? Like I was never like, oh my gosh, just go to the police, because like I would probably do the same thing. Like I would probably like, bitch, if you know my secrets, like, well, when I was a kid, like now I'm just kind of like, well, so I wouldn't go to the police. But that's just me. Anyways, also I wouldn't go to the police as an adult, because I know they're useless, but still, like, you know, as a kid, like you view them as like helpful, right? And so I can kind of see why they didn't, but then it's also like, I know who A is, and so essentially it's like someone who's their age, you know? So it's like they can't outsmart the police. Like, I mean, in the show, A outsmarted the police a lot, which is like so like unrealistic, but then again, not really. But you know, so it's like I kind of get it, but then I'm like, I just thought about it, and I was like, why didn't I think about, like, why, like, you know, like, why am I like, oh yeah, go to the police? Because they would be like the last people I would go to. I'm not even gonna hold you up, like, you know. But it's just so funny, because it's like, I know who A is, and it's like, no way she could outsmart the police, but also she could, but also no way. Maybe I should put my bonnet on. Well, it's too late now, I'm damn done. Anyways, yeah, those are just some thoughts I was having. I'm about to finish the book now. I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so I finished Pretty Little Liars, and I just got done filming a TikTok. I don't think I'll be continuing like doing like both TikTok and booktube, because it's just a lot of work. Like, it's not a lot of work, but at the same time talking about the same thing twice, and it's like, those give good views on BookTok, but I just don't think anyone cares, because no one comments or anything, so I don't know how people feel, and I just don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time. So I think I'm just gonna stick, because it was just like, it was taking up so much time, and I think that's also why I didn't read them so quick, because I had to stop to do booktube and then do BookTok, and it was a lot. Okay, so anyways, I finished Pretty Little Liars. Don't rate these books, but I had a lot of fun reading them. I was gagged on who A was. I wasn't expecting A to be who it was, because I always knew who Big A was. I don't know if I stated this early in the vlog, so just in case, I'll state it again. I was spoiled for Pretty Little Liars when I was in middle school. When it first came out, I had some friends who, I was a nerd, okay? I won like biggest like book nerd in like my 8th grade, like for superlatives, and me and all my friends read a lot. So for me to win the biggest one, that means, bitch, I was reading, right? So so me and all my friends read, and one of my friends had read Pretty Little Liars. She spoiled it for me. I'm like, dang, okay, well, it's spoiled. Like, no point in me continuing, right? Girl, I did not know that there was like multiple A's like in the TV show. I thought the TV show just took its own liberty and just did whatever was like most fun, but I'm starting to see that they actually really stuck like very close to the books, and I was not expecting that. Like, I was expecting them to just do whatever they want to do and just have like the characters, especially because the characters in the book were so different than the characters in the TV show, that I just wasn't expecting it. Also, if anybody's curious, because I know some people are curious what I'm doing with these, I have a I have a book stamp, and so I finally figured out how to use it correctly, so I'm about to try to re-stamp all my books that I've already stamped. So that's why the Folk of the Air books are sitting out like this. But anyways, like I was saying, so I wasn't really expecting them to be so close to the show because they already weren't. So I was just like, okay, whatever, they're just gonna do whatever they want to do. But no, they really, like, the parallels were insane. Like, oh my gosh, the scene where Spencer was in the car, and it was like so different yet the same. Like, the scene where Spencer finds out who it is was so good. I liked it in the TV show better because it showed how much of a genius Spencer was. Whereas in the, but I also liked it in the book because it showed how smart the other girls were and how smart Hannah was. So it's like, I enjoyed that. But it was just so fun. And I liked that, like, they start to feel more like friends as the book went on, instead of like in the TV show, like them being trauma bonded basically. Like, they have this thing that happened and they all connected, and they were like, well, we might as well try to figure out who it is. Whereas in the books, they were kind of like, okay, listen, we are friends now, we going through the same shit, but also I got my own shit going on, right? So it's like, I like that. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun. I was not expecting this. So yeah, I will be doing part 2 later on this month, hopefully. Y'all know I am a little bit of a liar, so I'm not even gonna hold y'all up. If you don't see it, you don't see it, but I'm shooting. But here's the thing, is I'm about to read some other books, and once I start reading other books, then my TBR starts to fill up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many other books to do. But if this video does good and a lot of people like it, I'll probably just jump right into the other books because I love attention. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, do you guys like my outfit? Hold on. This is my outfit. I'm going for, okay fan, I'm going for Rockstar Girlfriend because I'm obsessed with that aesthetic right now, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a rockstar's girlfriend. So like, I'm a rockstar girlfriend. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.